Hello, this is Dave, and welcome to Equity Story, and good to be here with the Wolf and general share advice and not personal advice. And Wolf, what do I say? But I'm sort of really impressed with you last 2 weeks. I think you're saying to me I say that you're quite liking this tech comeback, and I'm saying to you, well, Wolf, you might be right, but I want to see more, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to see more, right? I'm starting to see more. And, this for me is like, okay, if NASDAQ can hold above trend and it can, and we're not doing what we're doing here, and it could sort of go on with it. Are some of these tech stocks back, some of the market favorites that have been around for a long time? And you know what, you could be right. And I know, certainly it didn't fit in how we trade, but I know you bought some Seek for yourself in the fund.
I've been a bit cheeky, I have to say.
but that's okay. That's okay. Eventually you'll get lucky after about 20 ones that went wrong. But the point is this: your theory, Wolfie,
yes,
your theory was right, yeah. But you know what? Now it's looking like hello, right? And I think we have to put this on as a trend, but maybe we just wait till mañana, right?
Yeah, that's okay.
So,
but tell you something. Can I just tell you something why I think it's different than last time? Just go back to that NASDAQ chart that you showed me, and because you questioned, can we go further? And I'll tell you why it's different this time. Because last time we had the NASDAQ, right? We still didn't know where this inflation is going to go. We didn't know how far the interest rate's going to go up. I think we know now, Dave. I think we know that we're probably past peak inflation. We are now slowing down the interest rate rises. So I think the market's a bit more educated than it was previously, with that bit of a, furphy up. So it's much more stronger fundamentally for me to see this as a proper recovery. That's why I was sort of talking about it early January.
Well, the Fed have said that, haven't they? They sort of said that. They said, okay, we feel there's 2 more rate rises in this, but and they said it's going to be higher interest rates for a longer time. It could be higher interest rates for 2 years, but most probably that's good enough for the market to say, okay, I can start rating these tech stocks and give them a little bit more value. I get it, Wolf.
And the other thing is, I think, is the market and investors have possibly overplayed the downside for these tech stocks. Like, they were too bearish on them. You know how we've got the analysts and the investors very skittish at the moment, and from one side to the next, so they are really bullish, and then all of a sudden, oh my goodness, we're way too bullish, and then we're very bearish. What we saw the last probably couple of days, so Microsoft have beaten their previous guidance, right? What the market was expecting. Last night we had Facebook or Meta that did the same thing. So we are seeing the signs that potentially it's not as bad as people feared. That's why we're getting a bit of a rally. And also we've seen that inflation / interest rate rally fueling this as well. So that's why I feel much more comfortable with this tech recovery. And Dave, very importantly, it's the cream that's going to rise to the top, right? We talked about it. It's the big stories that are going to be probably the leaders on a recovery if we're going to have one. So I've been positioning the portfolio for that.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm just having a look here on stories like Amazon.
Yep.
Which unfortunately we got sort of cut out of it. But we actually had these ideas, Amazon, Microsoft, in October, and look at Microsoft on the monthly and it's starting to look very good. We sort of had the idea. I suppose it's not really Tech Berkshire, but to have a look at that, and that's done very well, that one, since we put it on. And I think old Google. So get into some of the, and that's actually not looking too bad, is it? It's starting to come out. I mean, we went a little bit too soon on this idea, but the idea was long term, lock it away, the best quality companies, trying to buy them, and yeah, listen, it's definitely starting to work, Wolf, and and again, that long-term idea possibly is going to pay off, right?
At least at the short term, we should have some sort of a little bit of a rally, right, in these tech stocks, because the market probably just just tired of the other stuff.
Well, look at Seek on a monthly.
That looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'll tell you why I like looking at the monthly. It's the monthly where trends are made, right?
Correct.
Right.
It's the turnarounds. Well, you see the big turnarounds, right? That's what's happening.
And you could argue, okay, do we have to wait to the end of the month? But it's sort of, again, you look at that weekly, it's impressive price action, and you'd definitely be interested. I think if that looks like that sort of tomorrow, we should put it on as a trade. It looks very good. And Wolf, but you're seeing this across the board, aren't you?
Yeah.
Stocks like ALU,
Yep.
These have all been on iSize recently. Look, it's looking good and going on with it.
Yeah.
Dare I say it, WiseTech, right? I think maybe the best looking chart out of them all. Right? Maybe we don't like the company, but you've got to respect the share price action.
100%.
Right? What a sort of looks absolutely superb. We're trending car, right? At least car was above trend. We did go there a little bit early, and it's starting to, I think we'll get our 24 in this environment.
I have questions regarding these. They're going, is it too late to get into? No, especially really good quality tech stocks like cars where they're profitable. Trading on 35 times, but are they ever going to trade at 16? No. That's just, we've seen enough of these things that say it's never going to trade at 16. We just got to buy them on the dips, and if we think there's a recovery in this space where investors are going to be more comfortable, you are buying really quality stories.
All right, so what we're asking out there, guys, listen, we're really liking, and XRO, come on, give us a little bit more, maybe jump above trend, maybe that's our cue. I mean, it was trading at 180, and what you're trying to work out here is when does everyone get greedy? Because there's going to be a time when everyone starts saying,
I'm going to talk to you about it, because you are the chart. The charts tell you when people are too greedy.
Yeah, but we're trying to pick the greed, right? So a good bit of volume this week, jumping off the trend line, maybe some good articles. Then everyone's going to go, hey, the tech stocks are back, and they could just go on a strong run. Look at that, they could go on a really strong run back, and you can see it's getting on a run back to 100. Again, Wolf, I think there's a lot of decisions to be made tomorrow, right? We're looking at weekly charts, and we want to wait to the end of the week.
But you know what, Dave? At least things are falling into place now, right? Not as if you're guessing what's happening. We got the Feds just telling you exactly where they see it, right? Where they maybe see another couple of interest rate rise. It's going to be elevated, so it's going to take some time before we start easing the interest rates. So it's just one of those things. As long as the market understands and is comfortable with the strategy, then I think they're going to accept the status quo, and they're going to start looking at these sort of stories, Dave. So I can completely understand where that rally is coming from and why it might actually continue for a little while yet.
Right. The other thing that's looking very good is gold.
Yep.
So Newcrest up 4%, and we hit our target price already. We sort of extended it to a little bit higher to 24. I think we're going to get it. And Evolution, we're back in the money there. And I think with Evolution, we've got a target price of 390. Wolf. I think gold's gonna retest at 2000.
Yep.
I think it'll test it, and I think you're going to see gold have another little bit of a run higher.
Look what's happening, right? So you've got this now. We can see also a correlation and what's happening with gold and what's happening in America. We're seeing the interest rates starting to ease off, which means the US dollar is probably starting to a little bit weaken. We're seeing gold go up as a result. So if that continues in America, $2,000, here we come for gold.
Yeah, and Wolf, I think equally importantly, we're seeing an escalation, unfortunately, of the war in Ukraine.
Yeah, possibly.
Right, which is a little bit of a worry, right? So
and a risk. You just never know. You could deflate some of these little rallies we've got.
Well, yeah, but there's a few things that are ticking the box for gold, you'd argue.
Yes, true.
And like Evolution, we're trending at the moment. We're trending Newcrest. We're doing well with both of those. WAF. I can't remember if we're trending. It is volatile, and unfortunately, that was a sell last week. But if you've got that long-term you'd still be out of it. You'd be in Newcrest or Evolution. The charts are a little bit better. Let's have a look at some of the smaller ones, Wolf. What's BGL doing? Yeah, it's just holding in there, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit of profit taking. I think there's nothing wrong there.
Yeah, but that Evolution and Newcrest look good. What's
Absolutely. I mean, again, the cream rises to the top, doesn't it? I mean, that's just been
look at
such an important thing.
Look at Northern Star.
Yeah.
You know, we talked about that the other day. It looked like it's going to go on with it.
Mm.
You know what? It's funny, Wolf. It's not maybe as good as Newcrest. I know you looked at it fundamentally, but it trends a lot better, doesn't it? It trends a lot better because I think people are,
much more comfortable with Newcrest, right? Sorry, and NST. They understand. They know what the assets are here in Australia predominantly, right? So I think it's just much easier to trend this as a result.
Yeah, and good to see a little Goodman Group going on with it, Wolf. We put that on as a trend, and it's again breaking out quite nicely, and hopefully it can have a nice little move up to that 22. I think we're looking.
The cream is rising, Dave. The cream is rising.
Yeah, well, it's good. Now, so we just want to talk about that. These tech stocks, get ready, guys. I think another good night on the Nasdaq. We've got a few things that are starting to heat up a little bit. Obviously, SEEK's had a bit of a run today, but possibly tomorrow could be a good time to enter the story. Now, a few announcements today, Wolfie, and DUG, which you were talking about this the other day, weren't you, with Claude?
Yeah, well, yesterday on our little Ask the Analyst session, we talked about Doug as a very interesting quarterly that they released, with which we basically sparked our interest where we need to have a look at it a bit further, and they've doubled up by another good little announcement today, another contract win. So definitely much more interesting, and it's looking one of their standouts so far from the quarterlies.
SRG, another, I think, a decent contract win.
Yeah, look, I don't mind this space at the moment, isn't it? This contractor space, we're looking at been trending Duratech for quite some time. We've had some pretty good buy signals. A lot of these things, SXCs are doing quite well. So SRG is another one of those contractors. I just want to put it in. I want to see what the actual numbers are. So, but there is money to be made on these contractors right now.
Let's talk about Jan, because sort of again a positive announcement. They're sort of they've recovered from the really big fall. I'd want to see these over 65 before I bought them. Could you see that happening when you look at these fundamentals, Wolf?
Yeah, they weren't too bad. There was growth there on all the lines, top to bottom, from your revenues to your profits. So I can see that happening, right? It's just a fact. It's just you can call it not a super exciting space, education, unless you're an IEL, right, type story, which is another tech stock we probably should be looking at. But yeah, look, I don't mind this at all. I think it's a decent company with some decent results. So I could at least see that holding that 54 cents from here.
All right, WA1 in a trading halt.
Yeah, with some results pending. So that would be very interesting to see what they come up with. So we're going to watch for that.
Now, Koff, okay, back above trend, but they've come out. They said, well, we're going to be delivering a pretty stable 8.8% dividend.
Dave, I think everyone was scared. That's why it's gone down for the last 6 months, because of the inflation and interest rate prices. Everyone's scared how it's going to affect the REITs. They've come out and reaffirmed the guidance today, Dave. That's why there's the rally. That's the only reason there's a rally, is because they reaffirmed the guidance, saying everything's going okay. We're gonna stick to our guns, and there you go. So maybe the REITs are going to come in back into some sort of a flavor to some investors, not all of them, of course.
Well, yeah, a steady div, and 8.8%. You wouldn't say no to it.
Oh, we don't get out of bed for less than 6, so this is pretty good.
All right, CNW.
Yes. Look, pretty interesting. I got to give them some credit here, CNW, because they've had some issues over the last 2-3 years, right? They've been trying to get this business profitable, and they've had troubles. And finally, looks like maybe this update shows that they're growing at the top line and they've actually become profitable, Dave. So step change. Remember this, when this happens, market reacts very positively to those sort of things. The question is, can they follow through this through and have another one of those halves by time when we see the August results? what they did say in that report today is points to picture that it will be another good half. So maybe there's a trade here, Dave, but just wait till tomorrow and see how this settles down. And then maybe we can make a decision whether this is a trade, because I actually like the announcement today. That was pretty good.
Okay, but let's trade them on value. So, so the market cap is 37 million.
Yeah.
The first half was 56, so maybe they're what would be the?
Oh, so we're not gonna look at the revenue.
No.
We're gonna look at the bottom line, right?
Yeah. So
I think it's a little bit too early on that, because a half, you can't look at a half and say, okay, this is what's going to happen. However, if they can replicate or do slightly better than the previous half, or well, with this half on the next half, then I can see obviously a more possible P coming up. Doesn't matter if it's high or not. It probably doesn't matter. The fact is they're going to have a P. It's going to be a re-rating for them straight away, right? So you can see what's happening here.
All right, but just talk me through this, Wolf, because I want to trend it, but I'm not so sure about these numbers. So if you look at the EBITDA, it doesn't look from 22. It's all gone up that much, right? So is this all because they cost cutting?
Well, no. Look at the top line. Just go down. There's growth there. Revenue up, what, 27%, up 20%. That's growth. I mean that.
Okay, but when you're reading this, it says CY22.
Yes. Yeah. So they're on the calendar year on 22, right? And then they're using the first half of 23. So they're giving you two different pictures here. Okay?
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. I get it.
Yeah. So there's two different snapshots of the performance.
Okay. So it's not actually showing the 21. All right. I've got it. And so they're up 21, up 30%.
Yeah. So that's growth, right? EBITDA's growing very strongly. I mean, up 4.3%. That 4.3 million. That's almost, from 0 to 4.3. That's massive, right? So you can see huge turnaround on the bottom line. Huge turnaround, because, like I said, they were loss making. Now,
but the profits are less, aren't they?
No, it's up 5.5 million, right? So, and up 3.5. So, and not net profit before tax on the previous half would have been negative. That's what they say.
They make it confusing the way they write it all, don't they? So that's 3.3 for CY22.
Correct. So the full year.
The full year. This is this is what I'm saying. So that would have been for the first half then.
Well, they probably have a.
But I'm saying they haven't done that. Right? They haven't. What I'm saying is they haven't done so well the second half.
Yeah, but it's probably skewed results. So you got to, like I said, just separate the two for the moment, and don't compare them.
Well, I mean, I know, but listen, all I'm saying is that they did better the first half than the second half, right? So surely that, I mean, I don't want to sound like sort of trading places here, right? But isn't that a negative?
No. It's just the way the company reports and understanding.
Well, when they take
there's strong periods versus their weaker periods. At the end of the day, there's improvement there across the board.
All right, so you're saying that it's not as good this half, but it's just the way the company.
It is still a good half. Look at it. It's up 3.5 million, right? Net profit before tax on the previous corresponding half. So they've done a very, very, very good job to improve that period.
Right. I'll have to trust you. You haven't convinced me, but I trust you.
But anyway, look, it's a very low margin business. So it's not a super duper, great sort of. I would be, backing up the truck here. No, but
anyway, I think the market agrees with me.
Yeah, exactly. I think
it opened at 0 point voice coming down.
Yeah, so that's why for me, very interesting results. Can they come through with it? There could be a trade here. Wait for the end of the week. If it's still not quite you're convinced, just wait for another week and see whether it keeps going, because some of these things can go for a run.
All right, Wolf, you're so good.
Let's go with the easy stuff.
Let's go with the easy stuff. Let's go to CMB.
Just results, right? No, we look lovely copper results, Dave. As a result, they're going up.
All right, but good enough to be up 13%.
Yeah, the results were strong enough to go 13%. However, remember these type of stocks. So the the exploration type results are driven predominantly by FOMO. So they will get in there for a couple of days and they'll probably get out, and you see that sort of pattern that we've seen previously on this.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, 39 meters. I'm being a bit contrary today, a little bit.
That's fine. Go on.
But 39 meters, right, at 5.2. I mean, big deal. 32 at 2.3. Right.
Maybe I've made you a little bit, overly critical of some of these results. This is actually not a bad result because I said I need 100 meters or 200 meters. That's really good. Yeah. And then you see that 39 thing. That's not very good. It's still relatively good, Dave. I mean, that's the thing, because the actual there's a copper grade of 5%, which makes it much better than 39 meters at 1%, for example. So that 5% makes it a bit more interesting and a bit more, okay, give me more of these sort of results, and you possibly could come up with some decent mineral resource, and then maybe a mine later down the track. So just generally speaking, that's why it's not up 100%. And you're probably right in a way. That's why it's not 100% up, right? If the results were spectacular. These were good results, which is probably justified that 13% upside, but that's probably about as much as it's going to go.
Yeah, and also, Wolf, if you look at the blob,
yes,
right? Yes. We know the blob.
Yes.
It's sort of, okay, it's only 300 meters wide. That's not, I don't, for me, that's not big,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And it's deep, so that's not an easy mine to mine.
No, it's not going to be easy. So what they need now is you see how they're going down. They need that grade to continue.
Well, you wouldn't get really excited to find stuff here at the sides, would you?
No. Look, depending on the grades, I suppose, right? So if they can find more high grade at 5%, 3%, 4% grades down deeper, then you're still going strongly with your potential deposit.
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny, isn't it? You need to look at the blob.
Yeah, you do, but you need to look at the bigger picture, right? And you're right. It's good looking at the blob because it does give you that bigger picture type look through. What is the possibilities of here? So, like I said, it's a tradable stock, yes, but just be wary because the farmers will get in and farmers will get out fairly quickly.
All right, and good old LDR.
Oh, we just need to mention that, Dave, because we talked about it yesterday very briefly, that they've come up with some spectacular silver/zinc drilling report, over 100 meters at 1,000 grams per ton silver equivalent. That's very high grade, Dave, and very thick. But like I said, it looked like they drilled down the guts, right? So there's a chute, they're drilling down the chute. Of course, you're going to get a pretty good result. But cheeky, push the stop button, trading hold. Let's raise some cash.
You can't blame them.
You can't blame them. You can't blame them. But it's unfortunate for the traders out there. This is why it's so difficult trading in this space, right?
Yeah, and if you're going to, that's why you've got to trade these stocks if they've got cash in the bank. If they haven't got cash, this is going to happen. Yeah,
well, this is why you need to do some research, right? If you're going to be trading into this, have a look at the cash position. Absolutely right, Dave. Absolutely right. Like this.
All right, I'm just looking at these golds. So, you know what? It's still not too late to get into Evolution, and I don't think it's too late to get into Newcrest if you still want to make some more money. I think both of these are going higher, and even Northern Star.
Yeah.
You know what? It hasn't followed a normal exhaustion pattern. It's actually, look at that.
What about PIU? What's that looking like?
Let's have a look at it.
Because that was another really good chart, I remember.
Yeah, I mean, it had its run a little bit earlier, didn't it?
But maybe that's not a bad way of looking at it. Maybe there'll be a bounce from that trend line, and you're gonna see a swing. Maybe obviously too late, but sorry, too early, but something to look at next week.
But you know what, the creme a la creme. I mean, like I said, Newcrest. It's it's still trading a lot lower than those highs, right?
Yeah, that's right. And and the gold price is much higher than before.
Yeah, and Evolution is when the gold price was up here, Evolution was trading nearly double. You'd feel like it could be $4, right?
Look, easily. You just need a bit of FOMO to come into this space. I don't think there's FOMO yet in this space, by the way. Maybe only on the Northern Star.
Do you know what? Look at that. And Northern Star's not too far away. It's a little bit nearer, right? But you still think even Northern Star's got further to go, right?
Yes.
You feel it's at least going to hit that 14.
Yep.
And gold is going higher. I've been looking at the charts. It's going to go higher. It's going to test that 2000. If it tests 2000, then these little stories could go with it. All right, Wolf. We're so close to putting some trades on. And certainly Seek is looking excellent, but let's have a look where they are tomorrow. We want to trade on the weekday.
Just give yourself that extra day.
Yeah, to give ourselves that extra day and be sensible.
Okay.
On that note, Wolfie, well done. Go back to your studying. Find us the stories that are going to pay off our mortgage, Wolf. Come on, mate.
I've been doing it every single day. You've just been ignoring me.
We want some 10 baggers. We don't talk about 10 baggers
anymore. Oh no, I think that the 10 baggers. Let's make the easy money, Dave. Let's trade those big boys.
Have you got a 10 bagger? Apart from, you got a 10 bagger? Is it?
I have to say, there's probably possibilities on it, like a DSE, but he's got to have the long-term view, right?
Yeah.
And some others, like maybe ALC and some others, right? So there's definitely, we're still trending those little stories, or we're still in these little stories. But right now, I think the money to be made is the big boys, right? So yeah, well, I will come up with a couple of interesting stories for you probably over the next few weeks, because I have been looking at some. So
all right,
there will be a mixture for everyone.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
SQ2 looking good.
Yeah, SQ2. Like look at some of these tech stocks. IEL.
Oh, look at that, Dave. Maybe this is the story to put on.
Looks well. It's all the students are coming back.
Yeah. Yep.
Tech looking a little bit better. I mean, we can put them both on tomorrow. And I mean, if people watch the video, they can buy them today. I mean, but there's more risk. I just want to give them another day. But XOO, come on, do a little bit more for me. I mean, car, we're trending at the moment, but all right, interesting times. Wolf, tech and gold looking good.
Yes. Come on, we gotta make some money on these techs. They owe us.
All right, see you, Wolfie. Take care, mate.
All right,
bye.
see you. Bye.